Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and curious minds, welcome. It is with great pleasure that I invite you on an extraordinary expedition. We're about to embark on a journey to a land of breathtaking contrasts and profound beauty, a place where nature's grandeur meets a vibrant, passionate culture. We travel to the heart of South America, to Argentina, a nation whose very name, derived from the Latin argentum for silver, hints at the treasures within. Our voyage will take us across sprawling pampas, over the jagged peaks of the Andes, through bustling city streets, and into the soul of its remarkable people. This is more than just a simple tour. It is a deep immersion into the essence of Argentina. We'll uncover stories etched in its landscapes, listen to the rhythms that define its spirit, and, honestly, marvel at the wonders that have shaped its history. To guide our exploration, I have gathered 20 mind-blowing facts, each a key to unlocking a deeper understanding and appreciation for this incredible country. These are not mere trivia, but windows into a world of passion, resilience, and unparalleled natural splendor. So, I invite you to sit back, relax, and allow your senses to be captivated. Let the spirit of discovery guide you as we dive headfirst into the many wonders of Argentina. Together, we will explore its vast territories, celebrate its rich heritage, and perhaps find a piece of its untamed heart to carry with us long after our journey concludes. The adventure begins now. Our journey begins with a sense of scale that is almost impossible to comprehend. Argentina, you see, is not merely a country, it is a continent within a country. It stands as the 8th largest nation on our planet, a colossal expanse of land stretching over 2.78 million square kilometers. To travel from its subtropical north to the subantarctic south is to traverse a world of changing climates and dramatic landscapes. This is a realm so vast that it holds entire ecosystems within its borders, from sun-scorched deserts and lush, humid rainforests, to the windswept plains of the Pampas where the horizon seems to stretch into infinity. This sheer size is the foundation upon which Argentina's incredible diversity is built. In the north, the earth is red and the air thick with the scent of tropical flora, a world away from the icy south. Here, colossal glaciers carve their way through mountains, and the land feels ancient and untamed. Along its western spine, the mighty Andes rise like a fortress, their snow-capped peaks touching the heavens. This immense geographical tapestry is not just a backdrop, it is the lifeblood of the nation, dictating the flow of its rivers, the richness of its soil, and the resilient spirit of the life that thrives within it. Here, in the heart of the nation's capital, Buenos Aires, we encounter a testament to human ambition. This is Avenida 9 de Julio, an urban canyon of asphalt and concrete. It is not just a road, it is a legend. Recognized as the widest avenue in the world, its scale is honestly staggering. Up to 16 lanes of traffic flow in a constant, roaring river, a symbol of the city's relentless energy and forward momentum. To stand on one of its many pedestrian islands is to feel the pulse of Buenos Aires, a city of over 3 million souls, all in perpetual motion. The avenue was named to commemorate Argentina's Independence Day, the 9th of July, 1816. Grand buildings line its edges, and in its center stands the iconic Obelisco, a towering monument that has become a national symbol. Crossing this vast expanse on foot is an experience in itself, a journey across a river of steel and sound. It is more than just infrastructure, it is a gathering place, a site for national celebrations and fervent protests, a grand stage upon which the daily drama of Porteño life unfolds. It truly is the main artery, pumping life through this vibrant metropolis. In the late 19th century, from the working-class port districts of Buenos Aires, a new sound emerged. It was a sound born of longing, of passion, and of the melting pot of cultures that defined the city. This was the birth of Tango, a dance and music that would come to define Argentina for the entire world. It began in the brothels and bars of La Boca and San Telmo, a raw and intimate expression of the immigrant experience, blending European melodies with African rhythms. It was the vertical expression of a horizontal desire, a story told in 3 minutes. The tango is not simply a dance, it is a complex language of connection and emotion. The close embrace, the intricate footwork, the melancholic strains of the bandoneon, it all speaks of love, loss, and a profound sense of nostalgia. Over the decades, it evolved from a dance of the lower classes to a symbol of national identity, embraced in the elegant salons of Paris and celebrated on stages worldwide. Today, tango is a UNESCO intangible cultural heritage, its spirit alive in the milongas of Buenos Aires, where dancers of all ages come together to share in this passionate, living tradition. Running like a colossal spine along the entire western flank of Argentina is, well, one of the planet's most formidable natural barriers, the Andes mountain range. This is actually the longest continental mountain range in the world, a dramatic wall of rock and ice that stretches for thousands of kilometers, shaping the climate and life of the entire country. Its peaks are a realm of thin air and breathtaking vistas, a world apart from the lowlands to the east. The Andes are not just a geographical feature, they're a defining element of the Argentine identity, a source of resources, and a challenge to be overcome. It is here, within the Argentine Andes, that we find the highest point in all of the Americas. Mount Aconcagua soars to an astonishing 6,961 meters, its summit a formidable challenge for climbers from across the globe. Its glacial-fed rivers provide life-giving water to the wine regions of Mendoza below, carving deep valleys and creating fertile oases in an otherwise arid landscape. This great mountain range is a constant, powerful presence, its jagged silhouette a permanent fixture on the western horizon, a silent guardian of the land. Deep in the south, in the heart of Patagonia, lies a world sculpted by ice. Welcome to Los Glaciares National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and home to the third largest reserve of fresh water on Earth, frozen in time. This is a landscape of surreal beauty, where vast ice fields stretch as far as the eye can see, feeding 47 major glaciers. The air is crisp and cold, and the silence is broken only by the groan and crack of moving ice, a sound that speaks of immense, slow-moving power. The undisputed king of this icy realm is the Perito Moreno Glacier. Unlike most glaciers in the world, which are in retreat, Perito Moreno is in a state of equilibrium, a stable and advancing river of ice. It is a breathtaking spectacle, a wall of blue-tinged ice rising up to 70 meters above the surface of Lago Argentino. Visitors watch in awe as colossal chunks of ice calve from its face, crashing into the water below with a thunderous roar. It is a raw, visceral display of nature's power, a reminder of the planet's ancient glacial past, still very much alive today. Along the wild and windswept southern coasts of Argentina, a remarkable gathering takes place. Here we find the world's largest population of Magellanic penguins. Each spring, they return from their long winter at sea to the very same burrows they were born in. Colonies like Punta Tombo become bustling metropolises, home to over 1 million of these charming flightless birds. The air is filled with their distinctive braying calls, a cacophony that is the sound of life itself in this remote corner of the world. These penguins are masters of their environment. Clumsy and comical on land, they are transformed in the water into sleek, agile hunters, perfectly adapted to the cold currents of the Atlantic. They undertake incredible journeys, swimming thousands of kilometers in search of food. Observing them is a profound experience. Watching them waddle in determined processions to the sea, care for their fluffy chicks, and interact in their complex social structures. It is a privilege to witness this great spectacle of nature, a thriving city of penguins on the shores of Patagonia. The story of a nation can often be read in its currency, and the Argentine peso is no exception. Its history is, well, a turbulent one, a reflection of the country's economic triumphs and struggles. The peso we know today is just the latest in a series of currencies that have borne the name, each one a chapter in Argentina's complex economic narrative. The banknotes themselves are a canvas, displaying the faces of historical figures, national heroes, and, more recently, the diverse fauna that inhabits the nation's vast landscapes. The peso's value has fluctuated dramatically over the years, and that's a constant topic of conversation and concern for the Argentine people. It is a symbol of both national pride and economic vulnerability. For a visitor, exchanging currency is a first step into the local economy, but for Argentines, the peso is an integral part of daily life, its strength and stability directly impacting their fortunes. Understanding the peso is to begin to understand the resilience and adaptability of a people accustomed to navigating the unpredictable currents of economic change. Argentina doesn't just offer amazing views, it's also given the world some truly deep and important literature. You can really find the country's spirit in its books, in stories that mix magic with reality, explore big ideas, and look at what it means to be human. Buenos Aires, with all its bookstores, is often called the most literary city in the world. Here, reading isn't just something you do for fun, it's a huge part of everyday life. At the center of this rich tradition are giants like Jorge Luis Borges. His complex, dream-like stories completely changed what fiction could be. His tales about endless libraries, different choices we make, and tricky puzzles have captured readers everywhere. Then there's Julio Cortázar, another master storyteller whose fun and groundbreaking novel, Hopscotch, actually asked readers to help create the story themselves. These writers, and so many others, have made sure that Argentina's voice is heard loud and clear in the world of literature, giving us a special and deep look at what it means to be human. To speak of Argentina is to speak of its people, and it is impossible not to be struck by the remarkable beauty and grace of its women. This is not a superficial beauty, but one that reflects the nation's rich and diverse heritage. In their features, one can see a story of global migration, a blend of Italian passion, Spanish elegance, German discipline, and the indigenous spirit of the land itself. This unique mix has created a distinct look, often characterized by a natural, effortless style and a powerful, confident presence. But their significance goes far beyond aesthetics. Argentine women have played a pivotal role in the nation's history and culture. They are artists, leaders, scientists, and revolutionaries. From the political fire of Eva Perón to the quiet intellectual power of its writers and academics, they have shaped the country's destiny. They possess a formidable combination of strength and warmth, resilience and passion. They are the keepers of tradition, the drivers of change, and the very heart of the Argentine family and society. Nestled in the foothills of the Andes lies a region blessed by sun and soil. Argentina's wine country. The nation has earned its title as the wine capital of Latin America, becoming one of the world's most important wine-producing countries. The high altitudes, dry climate, and pure snowmelt from the mountains create the perfect conditions for growing grapes of exceptional quality. The province of Mendoza in particular is the heart of this industry, responsible for the vast majority of the country's wine. While many grape varieties thrive here, one has become synonymous with Argentina Malbec. This deep, rich red wine, with its notes of dark fruit and velvety texture, has found its ultimate expression in the Argentine terroir. A visit to a bodega, or winery, is a sensory journey, from walking through sun-drenched vineyards to tasting the final product, often paired with a spectacular Argentine asado. It is a culture of cultivation and celebration, a testament to the land's ability to produce something truly world-class. In Argentina, football or soccer isn't just a game. It's like a language everyone speaks, a huge feeling, and for many it's almost like a religion. When there's a big game, the whole country stops. The streets become empty because millions of people gather around TVs, hoping and worrying about what will happen with the 22 players on the field. Our national team, La Albiceleste, makes us super proud. When they win, everyone celebrates with so much happiness that it fills the streets of every town and city. This strong feeling is shown in our football heroes. First there was Diego Maradona, a brilliant player who made some famous plays like the Hand of God and the Goal of the Century, which made him a legend. And now, there's Lionel Messi, who is quieter but just as amazing. He has impressed the whole world, and finally brought home the World Cup, which everyone wanted so badly. This excitement also shows up in the rivalries between clubs, especially the Superclásico between Boca Juniors and River Plate. It's a huge show of loud noises, bright colors, and strong team loyalty, making it one of the most exciting sports events anywhere. To really get modern Argentina, you gotta understand something super important: Peronism. It's one of the most complicated and talked about political movements here. It started way back in the 1940s with Colonel Juan Perón and his super charming wife, Evita Perón. They totally changed how politics worked in Argentina forever. Peronism was all about helping the descamisados, which means the shirtless ones, basically the working class. They set up big programs to help people and gave more power to worker groups. It was a movement built on a strong leader and a promise to make things fair for everyone. Evita especially became a huge deal. People saw her as a saint for the poor, and some loved her while others really didn't. When she died young, it just made her even more legendary. The Peronist movement has been incredibly strong, changing and growing through years of military takeovers, money problems, and political chaos. It's not just a simple left or right way of thinking, it's something truly unique to Argentina. It's still a huge power in the country's politics, like a ghost still hanging around the government building and in the hearts of millions of Argentines. On the border between Argentina and Brazil, the earth opens up and unleashes one of nature's most awe-inspiring spectacles, the Iguazu Falls. This is not a single waterfall, but a chain of hundreds of individual cascades stretching for nearly 3 kilometers. The sheer volume of water is immense, and the sound is a deafening, visceral roar that can be heard from miles away. The name Iguazu comes from the indigenous Guarani words for big water, a description that feels like a profound understatement in its presence. The centerpiece of this aquatic masterpiece is the Garganta del Diablo, or the Devil's Throat. Here, a U-shaped chasm funnels the majority of the river's flow into a thunderous abyss, sending a permanent cloud of mist high into the air. Walkways take you right to the edge where you are enveloped by the spray and the overwhelming power of the falls. It's a humbling, almost spiritual experience, a place where you can feel the raw, untamable force of the natural world in a way that is simply unforgettable. Buenos Aires is a city that really grabs your attention. People often call it the Paris of South America. You can see its European roots in the big fancy buildings and the cool cafes, but calling it just Paris of South America doesn't quite capture its special, lively spirit. This city has its own beat, a cool mix of old world class and Latin American energy. Every barrio, or neighborhood, has its own unique feel. Think of the bright artsy streets of La Boca, or the fancy green avenues of Palermo. This city is a hub for culture, drawing in artists, musicians, and writers. Its streets are like a giant art show with murals and street art everywhere. Its theaters put on amazing operas and plays, and its nightlife is famous, with dance clubs and bars open until the sun comes up. It's a city for walking, for exploring the old rocky streets of San Telmo, for sitting in a classic cafe for hours just watching everything happen. Buenos Aires isn't just a place to see, it's a place to really feel. It's a city that gets inside you and stays with you. Argentina's vast and varied landscapes provide a sanctuary for some of South America's most iconic and elusive wildlife. High in the Andes, the undisputed king of the skies is the Andean condor. With a wingspan that can exceed 3 meters, it is one of the largest flying birds in the world. To see one soaring effortlessly on the thermal currents, a dark silhouette against the snow-capped peaks, is a sight of profound grace and power. It is a sacred animal in Andean cultures, a symbol of health and liberty. In the dense, humid jungles of the north, a more secretive predator roams. The jaguar, or jaguarete, is the largest cat in the Americas, a powerful and beautiful hunter that moves like a ghost through the undergrowth. Sadly, it is critically endangered, a symbol of the fragile ecosystems it inhabits. Beyond these giants, Argentina's wildlife is incredibly diverse. From the capybara, the world's largest rodent, and the llama-like guanaco of Patagonia, to the strange, armored armadillos of the grasslands, each creature is a vital part of this rich biological tapestry. The name itself evokes images of adventure and untamed wilderness, Patagonia. This vast, sparsely populated region at the southern end of South America, shared by Argentina and Chile, is honestly one of the last great wildernesses on Earth. The Argentine side is a land of dramatic extremes, from the endless windswept steppe to the jagged granite spires of the Fitzroy Massif. It is a landscape that challenges and inspires in equal measure, attracting adventurers, climbers, and nature lovers from every corner of the globe. This is a place for epic treks, for horseback riding across the Pampas with modern-day gauchos, for kayaking among icebergs on glacial lakes. The towns of El Chaltén and El Calafate serve as gateways to this natural playground, providing access to some of the most spectacular hiking trails in the world. Patagonia is more than just a destination. It is a state of mind. It is a place to feel small against the scale of nature, to breathe the purest air, and to reconnect with the wild, untamed spirit of our planet. On the huge, wide-open plains of the Pampas, a famous person came to be the gaucho. They're a lot like the cowboys you hear about in North America. The gaucho stands for being brave, doing things their own way, and having a really strong bond with the land. For hundreds of years, these horse riders, who didn't stay in one place, traveled the plains. They herded cattle and lived a free life under the big sky. They knew their environment inside and out. They were famous for being amazing at riding horses and for being tough and able to take care of themselves. Even though the old way of life for gauchos isn't as common anymore, their spirit lives on as a really strong symbol for the country. The gaucho shows what it means to be truly Argentine, being honorable, loyal, and loving their home country very much. Their old ways are still celebrated at festivals and in towns in the countryside. There you can still see them dressed in their traditional clothes, the bombachas, those loose pants, the poncho to keep warm, and the facón, a big knife, tucked into their belts. The gaucho is, without a doubt, the wild and romantic heart of Argentina. Our journey takes us to the very tip of the South American continent, to a city that proudly bears the title Fin del Mundo, the end of the world. This is Ushuaia, the southernmost city on the planet. Surrounded by the dramatic peaks of the Marshall Mountain Range and the icy waters of the Beagle Channel, its location is as breathtaking as it is remote. Once a penal colony for Argentina's most dangerous criminals, it has transformed into a bustling hub for tourism and a gateway to the final frontier, Antarctica. There is a unique, palpable feeling here, a sense of being on the edge of civilization. The air is clean and crisp, and the light has a special subpolar quality. From here, ships depart on expeditions to the Great White Continent, carrying scientists and adventurous travelers. For those who stay, the surrounding Tierra del Fuego National Park offers stunning landscapes of forests, mountains, and coastline. To stand in Ushuaia is to feel the immensity of the globe and to look south, knowing that beyond the horizon lies only the ice of Antarctica. So, in the late 1800s, Argentina was changing super fast. Lots of people from Europe were moving there, and a really important group of smart people, artists, and leaders popped up. They were called the Generation of 1880. This special group of politicians, writers, and thinkers wanted to figure out what it meant to be a modern Argentinian. They really looked up to Europe, especially Paris, for ideas about culture and how to run a country. They thought that to get ahead, Argentina should be more like Europe. This group was in charge during a time when Argentina's economy grew a lot and the country got bigger, but not everyone agreed with their ideas. They wanted a more open, worldly culture, which sometimes didn't fit with Argentina's traditional Catholic and local ways. In books, they stopped writing about the gaucho in a dreamy way, and started writing about real life and how society was changing as cities grew. The generation of 1880 had a huge impact. They helped create the government, buildings, and cultural discussions that shaped Argentina for the next 100 years. The final piece of our puzzle lies in understanding Argentina's extraordinary climatic diversity. Spanning over 30 degrees of latitude, the country encompasses a staggering range of climate zones, creating a mosaic of distinct environments. In the far north, near the borders with Bolivia and Paraguay, the climate is subtropical to tropical. Here we find lush rainforests teeming with life, high humidity and hot temperatures, a world that feels more Amazonian than what one might typically picture as Argentina. As we travel south, the landscape transforms dramatically. We move through the temperate, fertile plains of the Pampas, the agricultural heartland of the country. Further west, the rain shadow of the Andes creates arid and semi-arid regions, home to deserts and hardy vegetation. Finally, as we reach the southern latitudes of Patagonia, the climate becomes cold and windswept, culminating in the subpolar tundra of Tierra del Fuego. This incredible climatic range is the engine of Argentina's biodiversity, allowing for an astonishing variety of flora and fauna to flourish across its vast territory. As our journey through these 20 incredible facts comes to a close, we are left with a portrait of a nation that defies simple definition. Argentina is a land of profound contrasts and beautiful surprises, a place where the thundering power of a glacier exists in the same country as the silent passion of a tango dancer. It is where the sophistication of a European-style capital city gives way to the raw, untamed wilderness of its southern frontier. This is a nation that harmonizes its immense natural wonders with a cultural richness that is both deep and intensely alive. At the very core of this land are its people, a vibrant tapestry woven from threads from all over the world. They carry the nation's turbulent history with resilience and its passionate spirit with pride. We've spoken of the unique beauty and strength of its women who are emblematic of the elegance, diversity and formidable spirit that characterize the Argentine people as a whole. They are the true treasure of this silver land, the custodians of its culture and the architects of its future. I hope this exploration has not only informed you but has also ignited a spark of curiosity, an inspiration to perhaps one day see these wonders for yourself. For every fact we have uncovered, 1,000 more stories are waiting to be discovered in its cities, its mountains, and its plains. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on this remarkable voyage through the heart and soul of Argentina. The journey is over, but the wonder remains.